It's a beautiful Tuesday morning right here on Jasiri, and we're so happy to see you at, of course, 10 a.m. on Tuesday. I said that right already. Yes. A lot of things happen behind the scenes on live TV, and a lot of times you just have to find a way to go with the flow. Did any of you have a light bulb moment recently? I like throwing things at you guys.
I don't know
if it was a light bulb or a eureka moment, or this thing finally makes sense.
Honestly, and I don't know whether I'd be prepared for that now. You know how you're juggling so many things and then you're saying, no, I don't need anything extra to just, you find a way, a routine to deal with your flow, and then this light bulb moment, you just say to yourself, nah, man, I don't need this. May this cup
You don't want this enlightenment?
No.
Really?
May this cup pass over me. Sometimes, you know, you have an epiphany sometimes, and you say, that's right, I now get it. Other times, you're like, Jesus.
No, not now, not.
I think I agree with her when she said, you know, sometimes even when the light bulb moment comes, you're like, no, not now, not now. I don't think I want to think about this at the moment. I think I had a lot of that, you know, throughout last week. Because
why would you not?
As in, I was alone. I'm telling you, I had so much time to think.
Because you're alone, you have conversations with yourself.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
It's not just alone. She was alone in a particular kind of situation. And I can remember the last time I had food poisoning, I'll just be like, hey, there's nothing left in your body. Meanwhile,
your electrolytes
you're running to the
gone and everything, you know. So, you know, I had a lot of, you know, moments like that. I thought about life. I thought about my job. I thought about where I am at the moment.
Did you solve some world problems?
I didn't.
You didn't solve any
In my head, I did. In my head, I did.
Do you know, you wish that you were well enough to just escape the house and just go interact with people.
The same house that you're always running to when you're working.
But it was actually kind of boring for me. For someone who always loves to go home, I felt like, I think I should. What if I go to work now? What will happen? Yeah, like, you know, like I just wanted to be around people outside of being alone. And it was just a neighbor of mine that was always coming to take care of me. And I'm sorry, but at some point I was like, this face again, every time. Better go
and give her something to say thank you.
Of course, no, I
say thank you now.
Her. No, she's the love of my life. I love you, Kenny.
So because yesterday I was just sitting there, you know, your mind wanders, and I like the ability of my mind to wander sometimes. Sometimes it wanders into problems. I won't lie. I have literally walked myself into a problem that I saw coming, and I walked my two left legs right into it. It's because of experience. That's why I am the way I am now, Kat.
Wow.
It's because of the experience.
Wow.
So I was just sitting and I'm like, I think I actually solved the world problem.
Yesterday. May the force continue to be with you. May it stay with you. May it lead you to the right places, because sometimes I'm not, listen, where I am now, I think I'm not in the mood for anything out of my routine. You get to a point that we're in ember months, there's a time for reflection. I can imagine how, I think I would have gone crazy, like 1 week at home, like thinking, because you would think about a lot of things, you would write, you would second guess yourself. There's a lot going on in your mind. Now we're in September. After next week, we're in October, guys.
The last quarter of the year.
Before you know it, you're saying Merry Christmas.
And I'm thinking to myself, what have I actually accomplished this year? I like it. I don't, what have I done this year that I feel like I'm like, oh my God.
And then with every birthday, you're looking at yourself and like, damn.
You know, I also came across something, and this is actually financially, and I was like, hey, Jesus. I was like, why didn't I think of this? I know this platform actually existed, you know, right from time. Why did I not think of it? And that's a platform. I actually have a friend that works there in that platform. I was like, why didn't she ever tell me about this? You know, I will start investing.
See, I'm not ready to do accounting for this year.
No. You know, there's some accounting you start, but you drop out of that accounting as it goes by, because you are there saying, And the thing is, the alerts don't lie. So it's not as if somebody did something to you and you didn't know, or they stole your card from you. These documentation of alerts do not lie.
So, you know, funny enough, I have like, it came down from 2,000, but I have like 1,000 plus emails in my email, and I was clearing out late last night before I slept. And I saw that
emails from
no, the new ones, the majority of the emails are from my bank. And I'm not
Are you
even.
serious?
So you know when you do,
transfers.
I'm just like some of them. I just went to March and looked. I said, "You bought that? Where is it? I've not seen this thing that I bought. I just saw unread from my bank."
And you quickly delete it because you don't want to remind.
I cleared out straight. Who needs all that?
I don't
Who needs
understand.
that pressure?
So you don't do calculations to confirm if what you're
Oh no,
seeing
I
is
see. I do, but I'm guilty.
Yes,
It's me.
It comes from guilt.
Nobody, as she said, nobody stole my card in this situation.
There's some things you don't want to be reminded of. It's like, I did this, I bought this. Why?
Why?
But you
Honestly, it was last night that happened to me.
You see?
No, honestly, do you know I took my calculator and I started calculating because
It's a mistake.
last week I made some money. If I tell you how much I made, I made some money.
Where's the rest of the money? Where's the money?
I don't know.
Exactly.
See, do you know I calculated? I cannot account for 30%.
Dash
But
it.
maybe it's possible because you know when you're home and then you're just buying, ordering.
So they just because is dispatch will call you. Dispatch will come and I'll be like, wait.
No.
When did I buy? What's coming?
Are men wired this way? Because that's also.
I want to confess. Me and my nanny, we have a. She understands.
Oh, so
It's Tuesday
it's
10.
your
Is he
husband
watching? I'm not sure. So if he's home, she knows how to work. If he's not home, everything goes to my daughter's room and then gets stuck into my room. If this is the one that they cut on digital, we'll fight. As in, so we have a system. Because sometimes they'll call me, I'm coming to so and say, they'll say my name. And I'll think, and I ask them from where? And they'll say, and I say, but I bought that. It's until it enters the house and I open it. I'm like, oh, I actually need a financial advisor. I need a financial accountability partner.
Why? Okay, so let's. Oh, Jesus, this is not how we intended to start.
No.
Yeah. So let's put our.
I need a financial accountability partner.
So what do you buy? Why do you buy? And when do you buy? Is that when you feel bored? Because women, we have seasons.
Yes.
Of this
I
thing.
actually have gotten to a point where I think I may have.
Compulsive.
I may be a compulsive shopper. I may be addicted to shopping. I know some of my friends,
What's
if
the
they're
go-to thing
watching, they're
you
watching
buy
now, they're like,
without-
finally!
What is the go-to
Clothes.
thing you buy?
But the most important thing
And
is
food.
Does it make you feel good?
It's a temporary feeling. That's why it's an addiction.
Food is
It's
very
like a
important.
high.
Food is very
So
important.
not food that I cook myself, but sometimes, oh, sourdough. I want to try sourdough in Lagos. Oh, I want to order I want to order sushi.
You know, this is the one that some people are watching will say, this woman doesn't have problems.
I have problems. You say lie. I have problems. I've been having the conversation with myself, and I said, you need to come to an understanding. You need to find a way to move that money and make it inaccessible.
Yeah.
Yes, and make it inaccessible.
I know.
I agree.
I'm over shopping.
But
after
and then Corey, I shop for Corey Day.
Yeah.
I shop for my husband sometimes too, but particularly I'd like to bribe him with food. I'm so sorry.
But after investing or after
Yes, I have invested.
Yeah, after investing and after saving it probably in a fixed income or whatever.
Yes. And,
and
I'm doing treasury bills too.
Do you try to take it out sometimes?
So that's why I need to do. I need to do the one where I need to lock it in, where I can't get it out.
Yes.
So when you lock it in, you can't. There's the
You've never seen people break that lock.
Oh.
They pay the penalty.
Yes,
I've
they don't
never.
mind.
So if
Yes.
it's locked, I don't pay penalty.
I've done that
I don't.
before.
But people will pay the 10% or whatever penalty to get the money out.
I've done that before. It doesn't matter. But if you need it very urgent in that moment, it won't matter to you. Any amount.
But do people still save money in their houses, like in bags under the bed?
No,
do they
piggy
still do
banks,
that?
colo or colo. Yeah.
I wish I'd started it early this year to just see what the colo will manifest to me in December.
You might have ended up breaking it in
Midweek.
Do you know why? Because it's a lot of. Have you seen that colo?
Catherine is very disciplined. I've always known her for that.
I will look at it every
It's me and you. It's me and you.
We're caught in the same class.
It's me and you.
People normally say, oh,
I
she
need
has
to work
mind
on
to
it.
do something like that, but I don't know. I think we should save more as
No, we have to.
We should.
No matter even if it's 300 naira here, even if it's 200, those monies may not seem important to you. But
It's
by
when
the
they
time-
add up and when you need them and they're there for you.
I wish we have some people who can call in and say they started savings in January with their colo and what they
I think we'll do a Jasir on the street about it towards the end of the year. Were you able to save? Did you hit your financial goals this year? Did you even set financial goals?
Yeah, the problem is, a
end of
lot
the year
of
is in
people,
2 months,
remember
3
back then, a lot of people actually tried investing and they lost their money. I was actually part of that.
They tried investing in what? All these pyramid scams?
No, not
Don't be calling those investments
not Ponzi schemes. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
Investing in banks?
I tried investing over a period of time.
In banks,
from 10
in
years.
shares, in what?
No, not bad. No,
it's the way that she does not want to say it. It's the way you're full of mischief.
But I lost my money, so
I'm looking at her mouth. In what?
In what? I've been really, really wary. But nowadays I've come to the point where investment is key, and I need to do something about it.
So I have
all
a
the money
friend
I have.
I'm going to introduce you to.
Please, I don't.
Why is the friend not working for you? Also need financial.
She's been on my case. It's me that has been the person.
I've also been following a financial advisor on social media.
So I'm learning about ETFs. I'm learning about cryptocurrency. Treasury bills are my new thing. I'm looking at treasury bills
and all
that. The splits as well. The ETFs are fascinating, especially having a young child that the ETF can help me pay for.
Is it weird? Is it weird that I'm planning on saving for my future children?
No, it's not weird. At all. It's not weird.
No, it's not weird.
The best time to start is now. The best time to start was yesterday, but the second time is now. We can
when
take
they
a break.
start arriving, they arrive without announcing.
Because Dasha might surprise us.
Do you know? It just happened.
Dasha.
So start now. Start yesterday.
Let's take a quick time out. This was not the plan, but sometimes, the best unlaid plans are the plans that work the best. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, our very first Jassi on the streets that is in a state outside of Lagos. We got to see what the Deltans are saying about the state government's dress code for civil service. Stay with us.
All right, this is Jasiri on a Tuesday. So, the decision of the Delta State government to roll out a new dress code for civil servants continues to generate controversy. From banning bushy beards, artificial nails, tinted hair, revealing clothing, resource and purpose hats, the dress code is sweeping, and the directive insists on full corporate dressing, depending on your level in service. This move has stirred heated reactions, enough for the state chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, to call an emergency meeting. The Delta NLC says the dress code is a burden to civil servants in that state and will not stand. So we've been updating you since this news broke. Now we are hearing directly from Deltans. This is Jasiri on the street, all the way from Asaba in Delta State.
Well, the dress code there's nothing new about the circular that came out. It's like a reminder of how we should dress as civil servants. Decency is part of our dress code, but you find a lot of people, because of modernity, adding too much color to their dressing, like painting of hair, tonguing of hair, carrying of birds, beers like that. You don't need all those in the civil service.
I don't think this is a productivity issue. I think it is an optical issue, optics, how civil servants appear. The issue of productivity might come later, but for now, I think what the government and the head of service wants is that civil servants will look appealing and look civil, not looking like any other person on the street. So I don't think it's a productivity issue for now.
For me, I'm now seeing that it's because we're in Delta State here. That is why it seems it is our culture, it is our identity to look neat, to look corporate. But if we talk about in the north, majority of the civil servants, they don't really dress in corporate attires. They are always looking at in their cultural attires. So it's not actually that you must be on a corporate side or in the cultural attire, but what is important is that a civil servant need to look exemplary, and that is what is ongoing.
Okay, I'm clearly indifferent. Why am I indifferent? Because, I think at this point in time, it is immaterial when we talk about dress code. And the other way around, we also say that it is also very important that our civil servant appear neat. and presentable.
Before you tell somebody to dress well in this harsh economy, definitely you must make sure that the person is well taken care of financially. So let the government include this, what they call wardrobe allowance. That's what they do in the banks now. That's why you find the bankers dressing well as if they are superhumans. No, civil servants who would like to dress well. There's no civil servant that will, if you look at the permanent secretaries, you see how they are dressing. The reason is that they are well taken care of, while the other people down the ladder are not being taken care of.
That's Jasiri on the streets of Asaba in Delta State. So, based on the reactions I was saying, so what's the difference? There was when our reporter was talking to someone. There's a lady in
Red.
red hair, and she didn't look bad, and she dressed properly. She was in a dress, a green dress, and she looked decent. She was okay. So I'm saying that why the sudden change? Why the sudden need to define dress codes for civil servants? Civil servants, we know, have always dressed properly, almost not demurely, but always dressed minimally. Yeah. That's the word, minimally. You don't see them wearing high heel shoes. They're most on flat slippers. So, and then someone says, okay, so inculcate that in their allowance, wardrobe allowance, if you want them to look like, he said superheroes. That's why people in the bank look like superheroes, exactly. So why don't you embed that in their salaries, wardrobe allowance, and see what happens from there?
I
really like those hats.
Do you think that would actually be possible, considering the number of civil servants that there are in a particular state, in Delta State precisely? How much would be the wardrobe allowance?
That's another thing.
It can't be any amount, but it has to be some amount. You know, that's what the NLC state chapter of the Delta state chapter of the NLC said. This is now an undue burden because you're saying it goes into effect immediately. People are supposed to have to change their wardrobe and all of this. And I just think about it again. When you look at the comments, again, it's this idea in which we seem to be saying that our own clothing cannot be corporate. Our own clothing cannot be decent. Our own clothing cannot connote some level of professionalism. And there was one guy who spoke and said, but you know, when you go to the north, they don't dress corporately. Yeah. But they dress wearing their clothes. Yes, so corporate is what we call it. Corporate is what we make of it. So I'm wondering why it seems we're not accepting our own native clothing as corporates. Corporate is not necessarily what it suits itself, is in terms of the whole understanding of what an organization or people decide for corporate to be. And if you say corporate is, you know, you want body parts covered, you don't want to see, I don't know, but the idea that it feels like you can't be wearing native and be corporate doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe it's a facelifting of the civil service, making it seem like it's not all sad and gloomy, because, you know, civil servants, when you say you're a civil servant now, it's not as appealing as someone being in the private sector. Before, if you say you're a civil servant, you say, oh, thankfully, you're thinking of gratuity, you're thinking of, what's that one, retirement, you're thinking of pension, you're thinking of, but now times are changing and civil service is not as lucrative looking as other parts.
Will the dress code make it more lucrative? And the reason why I actually asked, you know, how much wardrobe allowance is actually enough for one civil servant, because even most of the states find it difficult to pay the minimum wage. Delta State, how much do they even pay them? So, you know, even if you decide to request for wardrobe allowance, you're adding undue burden on the government, you know, itself, because if they're only able,
that wants the dress code, the government should have to
they will not be able to. They will not be able to afford it.
They should walk back their stance and relook at it.
I don't know.
Because when the people were sitting down to do this, were they thinking about the financial burdens that are going to be put on the civil servants that they need to step in? And oftentimes, I'm so sorry, when you often see some of these things like this, you find out that the people who are on the panel to revise it, they're actually people who tend to be very strict, very strict in what they themselves believe is appropriate. Were there enough people from probably different patterns of thought that sat down and revised this? Because how many people really carry bushy beard? I'll also come back to the Resource Control Act. this is something that's actually more seen in Delta and in Niger Delta states, but yet you're banning it. It's an identity
It's identity
thing.
with the Niger, and it's lovely to see when I see them wear, and the way it's so well, because it's part of also their culture. So you want to bring up, you want to introduce something new, but it seems like you're taking away something from the indigenes, the people themselves. That's their pride and joy. You go to place, when you wear made in Nigeria product and fabrics or wares, you do that with a thing of pride. So if the government is doing this, my question is that why? That's number one. Number two, this is Delta State. Are we to anticipate this kind of move in other states, probably sister states or neighboring states to Delta State?
If I were to advise, the Delta State government, I don't think that, this should be a law, actually. Just leave them the way they are. Because I saw... They looked so beautiful. The women looked really well dressed. So I don't see where the problem is. Have you been to other states where they still earn 30,000 naira minimum?
My dear,
have you seen the coats? Have you seen the coats that they wear? Practically dancing in their clothes and everything, all because they want to come out looking corporate. Doesn't make sense.
Okay, see that dancing in the coats. Because if you do go to civil service and all these institutions in other states, it's not oftentimes smart. You could be wearing corporate and absolutely not looking smart.
Yes.
And then even the ability for us to do things in our native materials. Have you seen the things that designers are doing with Ankara? Are we seeing what they're doing? We're talking about full skirts, especially for women, full skirts and trouser sets. We're talking about tops. We're talking about the way that we're reimagining Iro and Buba, the way we're imagining, skirts and up and down. Like two pieces, even just bringing those things, that's supporting local industry, that's encouraging people to be more intentional about what they buy, and then you're allowing people to express themselves in their native attire or in their native material.
That would have been perfect.
So sweet.
Where Nigerian-made fabrics came to Delta State, let us wear, I don't want to even sell this corporation and tie, I don't want to see it. Wear your native, normally senator piece, those lovely pieces. Have you seen men nowadays, the outfits for?
I love sometimes when you see there's a way Delta men dress.
Haba.
Oh, come on.
You just
come on.
Delta say you can do better.
Come on.
You can do better. You can do better.
Traditional wears are really beautiful.
And they look smart on a lot of people. Sometimes actually look smarter because for some people, they actually don't feel comfortable.
They're comfortable in that.
That's why she said dancing inside suits.
I've seen so many of them, and they carry brief. The other guy, there was a guy that said that.
I don't think he's sure about what.
While you're dancing in the suit, in the coat, you're carrying oversized suitcase with nothing inside, except papers. And
maybe it's a semblance because
and oversized shoes as well.
Civil service, and I one of the reasons that made me
you recently
I said I was the one that opened shop for them. Like, Madam, we are very early. Madam, we open from 10. And I'm like, this is 8:30. We open from 10. Madam, wait. And even 10, they didn't get to work till about 10:30. And they're living there at 1 again.
When I was serving, I told you I served in Ogun State, right? And I would tell you that most of them are not productive. Most of them, it's as if, they're in their second homes.
I served in the federal ministry and I said, this cannot be my life.
And you saw, how were the dressings there?
They were wearing native, wore suits. But that does not translate to professionalism.
Exactly.
It can be an aspect of it. It can help polish it. But if they're not professional from professional, whether it's wearing Louis Vuitton suits, Calvin Klein suits, or dancing inside the suits, or wearing the native, it doesn't make a difference. So they need to address the professionalism and the productivity. And then you might, because when people are proud of the work they do and they feel confident in the work they do, sometimes they buy themselves will invest more to look the part. Right now.
It's not honestly. I'm telling you, I was the only one working. I would go to work.
Looking at you like
I was
young lady.
No, because I was interested. I was interested, and I had someone who was also interested. My supervisor. So he, really put me through. I would do interviews. He would get guests for me. And the funny thing is, most of the interviews were not. They were aired on radio, but not on FM, AM.
My sister.
Remember AM. AM. You have to search and look for it.
Yes. Not FM.
You have to look for it. Yes. AM. Like talking talking about, what the government actually did for the state and everything in a whole month and all that. And most of them, we know it was gibberish.
And that's why I say,
really
you see, it leans now into the conversation of NYSC. This is NYSC, and then most core members are sent to civil service. You understand? When you're sent to civil service, what do you, a core member, a young graduate, is full of ginger and wants to go in and make a difference.
And wants to learn.
But he's met with elders that are dampening his spirit.
You want to learn bad
Look at it, Dasha, now. You're moving.
I was so dedicated.
What is wrong with you?
I was so excited.
Young lady, what is wrong? Don't go
When it was recording time, I would dress up.
See where I'm looking at her.
I would dress up. I'll ask questions. You see, I was so professional.
I was meeting, taking
Seriously.
I used Esther code. We're going on a break now. When we come back, we continue serious conversations. Esther code.
God.
I can't. You're still watching Jasiri. Now, last month, a video showing an assault on some National Youth Corps members in Oba, Anambra State by some men of the Anambra State security outfit surfaced online, and of course, it drew several responses. Now, this has since led to the call for the disbandment of the group by some parts of the public, as they fear that the group may have outlived its usefulness. News Central's special correspondent on investigative journalism was in Delta State to investigate the actions of the group known as Agunechemba, the security outfit. So let's get into that story right now. No, not Delta State, I beg your pardon, Anambra State. This is a special investigative report from News Central. Take a watch.
These corps members are the victims of the assault on that day by the operatives of the Agunechemba.
Wearing this uniform should be a shield covering us. We are wearing this uniform now in fear.
We were told they will be prosecuted.
We've arrested all of them, detained them.
Barely 2 or 3 days after, Jennifer got an information from her source that they've been released.
It was those girls who said, no, we don't want to go to court.
They have not even seen my father. They have not even talked to my father before. And yet they are lying that my father called them that he don't want the issue to go.
They were adequately compensated and taken care of prior to what you see on the net.
Some of the corps members were giving 10,000, 25,000. I think Jennifer was giving around 70,000 naira. Yes.
Left for me, I would say that they should be disbanded.
The person who is calling for the disbandment of Agunechemba is an enemy of the state.
Imagine the opposition was trying to bank on this.
The disbandment of Agunechemba will worsen the security situation in Anambra State.
On the 23rd of July, 2025, some men of the Anambra State vigilante group, known as Agunechemba, who were on the trail of a criminal suspect, besieged the property being occupied by youth corps members in Oba area of Anambra State.
This is the place where Jennifer, the youth corps member who was assaulted by the men of the operatives of the Agunechemba security outfit. It actually happened here.
Victor Obumneme is a resident at the property where the entire incident took place.
The Agunechemba people now came. They were knocking. So when they knock, they wanted to open the door, but they didn't even allow those girls to open the door. They just kicked down the door immediately. So the coppers now bring out their ID card and say, we are coppers, we are coppers. Just start carrying everybody. So the girls now said, okay, before you carry us, you have to call our LGI and tell her that you are carrying us so that we know that we are safe with you guys. So, but they just ignored everything.
The corps members say the incident leaves scars on their minds as they constantly fear for their lives.
Since ever the incidents happened, we have been living in fear. A little knock on our doors scares us.
No, I cannot leave my house because of the trauma of what they did to me that day. I've been moving from one hospital to the other, taking treatment for myself. As if that is not even enough. I cannot even go out because only the sight of a Sienna vehicle is a problem to me.
So it was not only Jennifer that was beaten and all of this stuff. I was also, he also, but even almost the four of us and others that are not currently here.
This has since drawn very wide condemnation since it first hit the internet and media space around mid-August 2025.
Well, that incident is very unfortunate, condemnable, and an act of unprofessional conduct from our men, some of our men.
For us, the story seems to harbor more than just an investigation gone wrong. We set out to investigate the actual cause of this act. Our destination, Awka, the state capital and headquarters of the Agunechemba security outfit.
Well, Agunechemba is simply the security of Anambra State. We're working with all the security agencies, including the Nigerian police, providing security for the Anambra, for the lives and property of the Anambra.
We are determined to fight criminality and ensure... The Anambra State Governor, Professor Charles Soludo, inaugurated the Agunechemba security outfit shortly after he was sworn into office in March of 2022, with the sole objective of tackling insecurity in the state. This was coming at a time the state was ravaged by insecurity and the call for state police was at its highest in the state.
The Commissioner of Police today is not from Anambra. The DSS is not from Anambra. Those officers, they are not from Anambra. So we are the grassroots. So now why Agunechemba is there to augment their effort as the grassroots security so that we can tackle the insecurity.
Despite the actions taken by the leadership of the security outfit against its erring men, the calls for the disbandment for the group seem to be louder.
It's really, really sad. They've done a whole lot of wrong. I want to believe that they've done some good too. I don't know. I don't live in Anambra State. I do not know. I've only heard of the reports. The report I've had is this from Jennifer and, of course, the others the foundations are working on. And it's a sad thing. I just know, for one thing I know for sure is that the operations of these men ought to be looked at.
Every kind of organization that is being set up has a primary objective. And the objective of these people are to secure those in this community or within. Now, if that primary objective is defeated, then I don't think there's any need for them to continue. And just like my colleague here said, if someone that is learned is into the system, the person should know the do's and don'ts. But these people are not learned. There are people that even see your ID card, they cannot read through what is there. You see, so they should just be disbanded.
We have said that they should be disbanded and maybe empower the police.
Me, I am not Agunaechemba. I volunteer myself for the sake of Anambra State. So anybody who is talking over disbanding Agunaechemba, maybe you don't want the good of Anambra State, the good will of Anambra State. The person just want to use his own personal interest.
But what consequences will this portend for a state that has been ravaged by insecurity before the coming of the Agunechemba security outfit?
We've arrested all of them, detained them, and as I speak with you, they've been transferred to the Nigerian police for them to prosecute them. They must go in for it. That's not what we sent them to do. All these years we've been doing wonderfully well in Anambra. The Anambarians can testify to that. When you have to take your mind back to what has been happening in Anambra before now, even before we killing. Anambra is no-go area. All of us knows about it. The kidnapping everywhere, the killings. They've turned this place into a marketplace because they believe that every person in Anambra has a kidnap value.
Having condemned the attack on the Youth Corps member, the need for training, retraining, and equipping the local vigilante group has become paramount in the face of rising complaints bordering on misconduct abuse of power, and inadequate tools to aid interrogations and other aspects of investigation.
This is the weapon we use to attack those people in the bush. And basically, this is not to compare with the machinery weapon they are using in the bush. You understand? So this is enough sacrifice for us to Anambra people.
Those boys use AK-47s, AK-49s, K2s, GPMGs, RPG, many different type of weapons. And we face them every day with this pump. Some are not even good. We have done a lot of sacrifice inside bush. Those boys we are fighting, they know us, and they know us quite well. That's why sometimes we cover our face, because they know our families. They know where we come out from. Everybody in Anambra State, we are from Anambra, we are Anambrians, and we are fighting this war to make our home safe for us.
Since they were constituted, things were moving very well. But it seems that there are some traps among them. My opinion is to screen them again, because maybe they were not thoroughly screened. They are supposed to be screened and sort out the chaff from the food. If you disband them, nobody will move around in Anambra State.
It's not quite long the Anambra State Police Command trained our men, and will continue to train them internally, externally. We've been collaborating with other security agencies for special trainings.
If they must keep these people and not disband them, then they should put them through and thorough knowledge and educate them properly, train them very well, and tell them the do's and don'ts. And they should know the people they are recruiting or putting in place. They should also make sure that majority of them there are graduates, because graduates that have gone through school and been in this position and served as us wouldn't do this to us, honestly speaking. So they should do better.
However, it has been widely gathered that the group, in collaboration with other security operatives in the state, have been able to galvanize efforts towards a safer and more peaceful Anambra, where many of her kinsmen who had initially fled the land for fear of being kidnapped or, at the worst case, killed by unknown gunmen, now say they feel safer to return home, to trade and live in the state.
If you go to the south zone of the state, most of their traditional rulers are no longer in their kingdoms, in their palaces.
Before this time, the policemen cannot wear uniform in Anambra State.
The state was no-go area for prominent men, women. Many have been killed, many have been maimed, many have been kidnapped, many paid ransoms, and all of them deserted the state. The big men deserted the state. Protestants deserted the state. Federal security agencies were no longer moving freely in Anambra State.
Traditional marriages, burials are being done outside Anambra. The Anambrians are now doing traditional marriage. You know what traditional marriage, the importance of traditional marriage being done in the person's compound. But they were doing them in Lagos and other places because they felt they were not safe in Anambra before.
But since governor considered these people, things are all right. They're returning to normalcy. But you know, in every 12 there must be Judas. And they fear you because of the bad people to disband it. Without it, there will be no peace in Anambra.
Before now, nobody wants to go into those various bushes. None of the security agencies in Anambra wants to go into the bush. We started going into the bush to attack those boys, clearing all the camps from the so-called Tango 1 to Tango whatever they have in the bush. Imagine the boys having different tangos. You meet the first site, from there you move into the second one. I mean, they have hospital, they have their armory, they have their kitchen, they have their car park, all in the bush. It's not possible. That is why we went in there to attack them. We're no longer waiting for them to come out.
80% of people residing in this place are traders. So you see all those bad boys, but right now you can't even see them again. They've run away. This Homeland Security law, because of all this Okita and all those things, were wiped out. All this water and all these occultic practices. In fact, the governor reformed our social, moral, and spiritual life.
Where are those who is calling for disbandment of it? They could have called for it since. So everybody, anybody who reasons very well will know that this is political undertone. It's politics, it's pure politics.
The person who is calling for the disbandment of Agunechemba is an enemy of the state, complete enemy of the state. Security is not something you can go about using in politics, considering the fact that lives and property are involved. And the Agunechemba have stood their ground, and we are still standing our ground to make sure we recapture all the areas these boys have been operating from.
So you cannot take one or two to say you will disband the Agunechemba security men on the line. It's up to commend them, give them gifts, promote them, encourage them. So I commend. I want the governor to even increase their welfare package.
The assault of the Youth Corps member seemed to have spurred this conversation that spotlights the activities of the members of the Agunechemba security outfit. No doubt, these men appear to have sworn to sacrifice their lives for a good cause in protecting the state. It is hoped that this sacrifice and the spotlight currently on them will be pivotal in redefining and recalibrating the organization for the better towards enhanced and a more secured Anambra State. For News Central, Marshall Anthony Onoye.
Well, thank you for staying with us on Jasiri. We're about wrapping up, but just before the break, we did watch a documentary by one of our very own, Marshall Onoye, about how the Youth Corps member in Anambra State was embarrassed or disgraced or harassed by the Agunechemba
security
outfit, yes, of the state. And, there's been so many angles, even listening to what people had to say, and all that.
So I want to start because we saw there, somebody had said that the Corps members were adequately compensated, only for us to see that some were given 10,000. I think Jennifer herself was either given 70 or 90,000. And I don't know in what sense that is adequate compensation for what she went through. If we can get to that part of the video, they burst into what I'm very sure everyone in the neighborhood knew to be NYSC quarters or that at least NYSC corps members were staying there. You burst in, you meet these girls and whoever else, particularly the girls in some state of undress, and you want to drag them out.
And what is the first thing that took you there? There's no how, because when corps members arrive in the community, it's clear. You hear people, they are very empathetic towards corps members. Oh, corporal, well done. You know that this is a corpus quarter, corps members stay here. What is that thing that took you there? Did it tell you that the corps members were involved in perhaps some fraudulent activity or what? And then you burst in, you bring out this young girl who is not, she's just probably coming out of the bathroom or going to the bathroom, and she's barely, I think, in towel. And then you're pulling her. Take a look at that. Anybody who would see this, is enough for there to be established trauma.
And the fact that you're also, because she also talked about the things that they were saying. If you followed this story for the time it landed on social media, she was also talking about the things that they were saying, that will rape you and nothing's going to happen, will kill you. She was talking about the fact that the people were putting fingers on hands on her. And so I struggle in this situation to separate what was a situation versus what people in the state completely are saying is the good that the security outfit has done. And so I remember, I think it was either their head of operation or somebody else, or the administrative head, who talked about the fact that the Anambra State Police Command had come in to train them, and that they will keep training them. But I also want to ask, have they trained them on human rights? Have they trained, if you're a security outfit, which is legalized, we saw the law that established Agunechemba. If you're legalized, there has to be things that you follow. There has to be law that you follow. And I also like the fact of what His Royal Majesty, the Igwe, said that they need to rescreen. You need to so at this point, because we've seen when you give Nigerians some iota of power, especially the ones that handle weapons, it's like a spirit descends on them. And maybe it's not necessarily changing them. It just brings out some of the wickedness and viciousness they probably had inside. But giving Nigerians an iota of power, you just see a misuse and abuse of power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good thing
right.
that, you know, these particular men who actually were found guilty are being punished for what they did.
Absolutely.
And just like one of them actually said, you know, there are good eggs and there are bad eggs. Even in the police, even in the military, you find, you know, good eggs and bad eggs. So it's a good thing. And as someone who has actually had her own fair share of insecurity, you know, I understand when they say that Anambra State is a lot safer than it used to be. So maybe not disband, you know, the Agunechemba, because there's been a lot of clamor for state security to help, you know, make states safer. You know, maybe retrain them. Make sure that they understand.
Even have a higher standard
exactly.
of employment.
Someone that cannot graduate. The core member said, I showed him my ID card. He couldn't even read what's there. You must have do's and don'ts. No one's saying that you must go to school, but there's some basic things you need to follow. Basic steps, basic rules and regulations to adhere to. That is an organization established. That's what I'm saying. So if you're saying you're retraining, so that means you didn't train them in that field or in that regard in the first place.
So another thing, you know, I hope this is not a short-term thing. I hope this particular policy or this particular, you know, outfit is it's for the long time, or it's sustainable. Because, you know, once they're done, you know, with the bad guys, what happens? Do they turn around on the citizens themselves? Do you understand? Because they would want something to do.
You know, you talked about, while we were watching it, about the Hezbollah board.
The
Hezbollah board. We talked about Amotekun as well.
Yes.
There is, unfortunately, we've seen incidents when we have these kind of vigilante groups, even civilian JTF, I believe, the vigilante group that works with the military. You end up seeing, to some level, the bad eggs. The bad eggs come out, and it's their narrative, or it's the focus on the bad eggs that sometimes becomes the story. But 8 of them were arrested. They were transferred to the police. They said that they're going to be punished. And I think it's very important that Agunechemba itself makes sure that this goes to the very end, to show that it is also an organization that realizes if we have these bad eggs pop up, we are going to deal with them. And aside from that, I think overall, this also shows us a failure of the federal policing and security structure. The reason Amotekun came about, the reason Agunechemba is coming about, is that our police are ineffective, whether by intention or incident, we don't know. But for many people, the police just do not have enough. There are not enough of them. They may not have enough arms to face the people in the bush, whether the bush is in Anambra or the bush is in Ogun State or the bush is in Lagos State.
Hopefully,
the police are ineffective.
And those who have arms, you just reminded me of a video I saw yesterday, and I was watching it, and I was like, what is going on? A policeman was talking to a citizen, and he was so pissed off. He was so worked up. He cocked his gun.
That's what
they were
I'm
begging
saying.
him. He cocked his gun, and he said, I'll kill you here, and nothing will happen.
You didn't see the video of the military guys who made, I don't know if it was a woman or a man, crawl through muddy water because they said that their car passed and splashed water on them.
So there's a tendency for abuse.
And don't forget, state police is at the top of constitutional review right now.
State police, and I think, I mean, if you ask me, I think it will quietly creep in on us. I don't know whether they'll be allowed to be as effective, and whether people or security outfits like Agunechemba will agree to be disbanded because of the arrival of state police. Because that's another thing. They wonder if they cannot work side by side with state police. Because the truth is, when someone tastes power, it is difficult to let go. You just want to
So what happens to the Agunechemba? Because some of them are also, you know, clamoring for better rifles, sophisticated weapons, so that they'll be able to deal with the terrorists. Exactly. Do you understand? Yes, we understand that they said the terrorists, you know, they have a quasi, and they actually have, like, they run a quasi governments. They even have hospitals, parking lots, and everything. And all. Yes. So once they're done dealing with the bad guys, what happens to them?
That's a good question.
So let's see the end of this with the corporal, and you could see that she's crying. I would have wished that NYSC would have either relocated her for her to finish her service year, or even giving her an exemption. That was a traumatizing situation she went through, and we shouldn't have to call on NYSC to do the right thing for her, or Anambra State. And we see what Anambra State is doing, and we're going to follow this case to its conclusion. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.